Hi everyone, my name is Alex. Welcome to this tutorial. In this one, I would like to show you how we can automate an e-commerce website using Python in Selenium. And I would say let's jump directly into the project and let me show you the requirements. So first of all, this is the website we want to work with. It's a dummy page. That means, it's not a real one. And the whole project goal is to simulate a real e-commerce purchase scenario, right? And let's just imagine that we have chosen this website and we want to buy one iPhone and one laptop, right? So first of all, let's get a feeling how this page is structured, right? Let's say we want to click on this first button in order to see this iPhone. Then we want to take a look on all these pictures, right? So all in all, we have 6 iPhone pictures here. We take a look on everything, and afterwards we want to capture a screenshot of this specific picture, right? And then let's say that we liked this product so much that we don't want to buy just one of it. We want to select 2 pieces, right? So then we will add 2 iPhones to our cart. Afterwards, we want to select one laptop. In our example, it will be this one. So let's click on this, and we want to choose a specific delivery date, right? So that means here we have the opportunity to work with calendars. After we have chosen one specific date, we will add this laptop to our cart. Then we go to the checkout process, and you can see here we have chosen 2 iPhones and 1 laptop, right? Let's go to the checkout page, create a guest account. Afterwards, we need to provide our credentials. Again, since it's a dummy page, you can just use dummy data. And we will finish the whole checkout process. And finally, we want to print out the final price in our console and also the success message. And let's try to simulate this scenario. I also have one short requirement overview. So everything I just told you, I split it up in 7 steps, right? And for the delivery date, I have chosen the 31st of December 2022. And I would say let's automate this process and enjoy. So let's go back to our page. This is our starting page, right? Here we can remove these items I have just selected and remove that one. Let's go to our fresh homepage, and right now let's begin. First of all, you need to open your IDE. Here in this example, I want to work with PyCharm. I have already created one project folder. That means in the next step, you just need to create one new Python file and give it a name. Let's say we want to call it ecom project, right? And right now we are good to go. So first of all, we need to import the WebDriver from the Selenium package. From Selenium, import WebDriver. This is the very first step. That means we can initialize our WebDriver and then we can start writing our script. And to do this, first of all, let's provide the driver variable, then WebDriver .chrome, because I have chosen Chrome for this project. It's my favorite browser, and this is the reason why. Here you need to provide the path where your WebDriver is located. So let me copy and paste my personal path. Obviously you will have a different one, but this is where I saved my WebDriver. And don't forget to comment this. Initialize WebDriver, so that the next person who is reading your code will know what this is about, right? Afterwards, let's just open our homepage. So it's driver.get, and in this step you just need to copy the URL. So this is, yeah, let's start with this URL, right? Just copy it and paste it to your code, right? Driver.get, paste it here, and in the next step we can maximize our window, and then we are good to go, right? So let me just comment this out too. So we have right now open URL and maximize window. So first of all, let's take a quick look if this initialization went well or not. So right click, let's run the code, and let's see if this website will open. Alright, Chrome driver is loading, URL is loading, window is maximized. So you can see here, this window opened, and we can right now proceed with our requirements, right? Again, let's take a short look what we want to start with. First of all, we have successfully opened this website, right? Right now we need to select 2 iPhones and take 1 screenshot. So these 2 are our next requirements. Let's see how we can manage it. First of all, we need to click on this button in order to be able to see this iPhone we want to select, right? That means let's put a right click here and inspect in order to build the specific locator for this particular button, right? Again, let's inspect on this, and you can see here we can work with this A tag and with the text to build our specific locator. In this case, I want to use XPath, right? So let me show you how we can build it. First of all, let's put down the tag. It's A, and then we can mention this text we have just copied, right? And right now we have our XPath expression for this particular button. So I've just copied it. Let me go back to the PyCharm IDE. Let's provide a variable. Let's say phones equals to driver.findElementByXpath. Paste it here, and in the next step we want to click on this, right? So don't forget to comment this. Phones, let's say phones button. And then in the next step we want to click on this one, right? Again, right click, inspect. Same structure here. We have an A tag, we have 1 text element, right? So that means we can just copy this text part and remove the old one and replace it with the new one, right? So you can see here we have again created successfully our XPath expression for this particular field. And yeah, let's copy it and paste it in our IDE, and we want to click on this too, right? To be honest, I don't know exactly how much knowledge you have right now about Selenium, but I'm also recording a different tutorial where I will cover all the necessary elements from Selenium, right? So that means if you're right now not familiar with everything we cover in this video, don't worry, I will cover the basics in my next tutorial. And for example, for this one, so let me go just back to this expression. It's iPhones.driver find element by XPath, and paste your copied expression here. And then again, we want to click on this iPhone, right? Actually, it's not iPhones, it's just 1 iPhone we want to click on, right? And what we can do here is, let's say after this line of code, after clicking this, the script should wait for 1 second until it will proceed with the next line. That means we need to import this time package, just move your mouse here and click on import, right? Then you can select this one, click on this time package, and right now you can scroll up and you can see here this time package was imported right now. Let's say we want to wait for 1 second here. And actually you have different opportunities how you can work with wait expressions in Selenium, and I will cover all the different approaches in my tutorial, in my Selenium Python basic tutorial. But for this project, I guess we are good to go if we just use this simple time.sleep function, right? So after we have clicked on this iPhone, again, we want to take a look on all these pictures here, right? So that means we have one picture we want to click on, and then we want to click 5 times on this arrow button, right, in order to get to the last picture. And let's just say after this last picture, we want to capture one screenshot, right? Let's automate this process. That means again, we need to inspect this first picture, right? Let's find the correct XPath expression. And as you can see here, our pictures are stored in this li tags, right? We have 6 li tags and each tag is representing one picture. First of all, we need to get access to the first li, right? Let's say we want to start with the parent tag, with the ul tag, and then we want to traverse down to the first picture. Let's try and see if we can do that. So first of all, let's write down the XPath expression, and right now it disappeared. It's not a big deal, we can inspect it again, and we need to choose that one, right? So it's ul class, and then the value is thumbnails. Let's paste it here, right? And right now you can see here we have chosen this parent class. And now to get access to the first picture, we need to traverse down to the first element. So it's li1, and you can see here this is unique for the first picture. And this is actually the element we want to click on first. So again, copy it, go back to your IDE. Let's again provide one variable. Let's say first pic equals to driver dot find element by XPath. Paste your XPath expression here, and let's click on this, right? After we have clicked on this first picture, let's say again we want to wait for, let's say 2 seconds until the next line of code will be executed. And in the next step, we want to click on this arrow, but not just 1 time. We want to click on it 5 times, right? Because right now we see picture 1 out of 6, and we want to click 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until we get to the very end and see the last picture. And let me show you how we can do this. Actually, first of all, we need to find this, this arrow, right? So again, let's inspect it, right click, inspect. And here we can use this button tag, this title attribute, and this value here. So first of all, let me copy this value so that I don't need to remember it. So it's /button at title. Let me remove this space here, right? Title equals to the value element. And right now you can see here we have successfully located uniquely this arrow element. Let's copy it and paste it here to our IDE, right? Let's just give it a name and let's say next, right? Or let's say next click. So next click equals to driver.findElement by XPath and paste it here. Right now, you need to click on this button 5 times, right? So that means one approach is not the best one, but you can do it. You can say next click dot click. So Selenium will click on this specific arrow button 1 time. Then you can just copy this line and paste it here 5 times. That means that, yeah, at the end it will click on this arrow 5 times, but it's just not a good approach. We have a cleaner way to do this. Here we can simply use simple for loop to do this. And what we can do is we can write down for I in range from 0 to 5. We want to click on this specific element, right? Let's do it. So put this expression here, and let's say after each click, we want to wait for 2 seconds, right? That means with this lines of code, we will have access to the first picture. And then with this cleaner scenario, we can click on this arrow button 5 times, but not using this 5 lines of code, but just this 2 lines. And this is just for the waiting, right? Let's say we want to remove these lines and make it a little bit cleaner, right? And if this script will run successfully, after this step here, we will get to this last picture. And let's say that finally, when we have reached this picture, we want to capture one screenshot, right? Let's see how we can do that. It's actually quite simple. Only thing you need to do is you need to call the driver object dot save screenshot, and here you need to provide the file name. That means we can just choose a random name, let's say screenshot, and then hash, alias number. So screenshot hash plus, let's say we want to select one random number between, let's say 1 and 100. But first of all, you need to import this package, right? Again, you need to move your mouse here and go to import. Then you can import this package here. And if you scroll up, you can see here this one was right now imported, and we can use it to create our random number, right? So that means random.randint. And let's say we want to choose one number between 0 and 100. So we need to put down 101 because the last one is not inclusive, right? And afterwards, we want to save it as a .png file. So what we need to do, let's write it down, .png. And here, this is our file name for our screenshot. That means we need to concatenate 3 elements, this screenshot, this random number, and the .png ending, right? But in order to be able to do this, we need to convert this number to a string. It's also quite simple. Just put down str, open a bracket and close it. And right now, if everything worked fine, we have successfully concatenated 3 string elements. And this is right now the file name for our screenshot. So first of all, let me just put a few comments here, right? First picture, next picture, and here we can just write down save screenshot, right? So I would say, first of all, let's run this code again. and let's see if everything worked fine, and if not, we need to debug it. Alright, so let's cross our fingers, right click, and let's go. So the browser is opening, Windows maximized, iPhone is clicked on. Alright, first picture was clicked on, second one, third one, number 4, number 5, and number 6. Great, this is our last picture we want to see. Let's go back to our IDE, and let's see here. We have successfully captured one screenshot. You can see here, this was our name, screenshot, hash, then we have a random number between 0 and 100, and we have this .png ending. So that means that this step was successfully done, right? So in the next one, we want to click on this X button. Let's quickly do it. Right click, inspect. Let's locate this X button and write down our XPath expression. Again, I'm almost copying this value element, so I don't need to remember it. So here it's button, add title, and paste down your value element, right? So you have an access to this X button. Go back to your IDE, and yeah, let's give it a variable. Say X button equals to driver.findElement by XPath, and we want to click on that one, right? So X button dot click, right? So then let's again wait for 1 second until we proceed, and let's see what's the next step here. We want to click on this X button, and then again, remember, we liked this. Let's imagine we like this product so much that we don't want to buy one iPhone, but we want to select 2 iPhones, right? So this is a good practice how we can work with text boxes. First of all, we need to click on this text box, and you can see here the default value is 1. We need to remove this one and replace it with a 2. And then we need to click on this add to cart button, right? So first of all, let's locate this text box, right? Right click, inspect. And here, just for example, we have one ID, right? It's input quantity. Let's this time use the ID instead of XPath to locate this specific text box. I have just copied this ID expression. Let's go back to our IDE and let me write down this expression. So it's quantity equals to driver.findElement by ID this time, and we click, well, we paste this ID expression, and we want to click on this checkbox, right? So it's quantity.click. Afterwards, let's wait for 1 second. So this will be not executed too fast. And yeah, so we clicked on this. Right now we want to remove this element, right? So the first step is to remove it. Second step is to put down a 2 in this text box, right? Let's do that. After we have clicked on this text box, let's write down quantity.clear. That means everything what is inside this text box will be just removed. In the next step, let's say we want to have 2 iPhones, so it's quantity.sendKeys. That means if you want to write something down in a specific text field, you need to use the sendKeys expression. Here we want to write down a 2, right? That means quantity.sendKeys, and here we put in this 2, right? Afterwards, let's again wait for 1 second here. And then we want to click on this Add to Cart button, right? Let's locate it. And here we also can work again with the ID, right? So just copy it, go back to the IDE, and let's give this a variable add to button equals to driver.findElementById. This is our ID for our add to cart button, and we want to click on this, right? So it's add to button dot click. And if everything worked fine, after this step, we have successfully put 2 iPhones to our cart. Let's see if this worked, right? So it's right click and run this again. Again, finger crossed. Browser is opening, window is maximizing. But I mean, right now you know the steps. Until this screenshot part, you have already seen what happened, right? So it's just a small repetition of everything until this specific step. Here we have our screenshot, and you can see here text field is cleared. We have selected 2 iPhones and successfully clicked on this Add to Cart button. How you can see that it was clicked successfully, just take a look here. On this cart item, we have 2 items, right? And if you click on this one, you can see here that we have successfully chosen 2 iPhones. Great. So right now, let's take a short look on our requirements, right? And we have selected 2 iPhones successfully, and we have taken 1 screenshot, right? So I think we are good to go right now. And in the next step, we need to select 1 laptop. We also want to select a specific delivery date for our laptop. In this example, it will be the 31st of December 2022. Let's see how we can manage it. So first of all, in order to get access to the laptops, we need to move with our mouse to this specific region, right? And then we want to click on this button. So again, first of all, move your mouse here without, and this is right now very important, without clicking on this button. Just move your mouse here, and then when this area appears here, right, we want to click on that one. That means after clicking here, we have access to these laptops and notebooks. Let me show you how we can manage it with Selenium. So first of all, let's find it, this element, right click, inspect. Let's locate it. Again, same structure. It's the A tag, and here we have this text element, right? Let me locate it again because it disappeared. We need that one, right? So copy it, paste it here. You can see here it was selected. Then copy your expression, and let's go back to our IDE. Let's just say laptops equals to driver.findElementByXpath. Paste your XPath here, but right now we don't want to click on this again. And first of all, let me just add 1 short comment, right? Add to cart, right? So here in this example, we want to work with the action chains class. Let me show you what I mean by that. First of all, let's provide a variable action equals to action chains. This is also a very important aspect of Selenium. First of all, we need to import this action chains class. Again, put your mouse here and click on import. And you can see here it was imported here from the Selenium package. But we need to put this a little bit above, because this comment is related to this driver object, right? So again, let's go back, and here you need to provide one argument, so it's the driver argument, and then what you can do is to write down action dot move to element, right? And we want to move to this specific button, right? Imagine your mouse is here right now and you want to move it to that button so that you have access to this bar, right? That means action dot move to element, and we need to move to this specific element because in this variable we have stored our XPath expression for this button, right? So provide this laptop's variable here, right? And every time you work with the action chains class, you need to put down at the end dot perform. Otherwise, yeah, it just won't work and you get an error, right? So after our mouse was moving here, we need to click on that one, right? So again, right click, inspect, and we need to take this text. And since we have again the same structure, right? So we have an A tag and we have a text. We just can copy this text and remove the old one and put down here the new one, right? So let's copy it. Go back to our IDE. Let's choose a different variable. Let's say laptops2 to make it a little bit simpler. Driver dot find element by XPath, and here we can paste our XPath expression. And yeah, let's work again with the time.sleep functions, so I can show you what we did when the script is running, so it won't run too fast, and I can explain to you while it's running, right? So again, let's put another time.sleep function. Let's say here, right? We can put it here, and then we want to click on this laptops2 element, right? And afterwards we will be redirected to this specific area. So let me close the DOM, and we want to choose this laptop, right? So again, I mean, the concept is almost the same. So let's locate it. We have again an A tag and we have a text. Just copy this text and build your XPath. So it's A text, and here we have our new text, right? So this is our laptop. Let's copy it back to PyCharm. Let's say we name this variable as HP equals to driver dot find element by XPath. Paste your XPath expression here, and right now we can click on this, right? So time.sleep for 1 second, and let's see what happens after we have clicked on this laptop. A new page will appear, right? And right now we need to use this calendar, right? Because again, we need to select a specific delivery date. And in this example, we need to get access to this one. So after clicking on this specific notebook, we see this page, but you can see here, we just see clearly the delivery date, but we don't see clearly this box of this quantity element, right? So that means we need to scroll down a little bit until we have access to this region or to this area, right? So this is, for example, a good opportunity to show you one of different approaches how we can scroll in Selenium. So first of all, let's say we want to scroll to this element, right? Because that means if we are on this page and we want to scroll to this element, we see clearly this region, right? So how we can do this? Let's just say we want to scroll to this page. That means that Selenium will try to bring this element on the top of this page, or at least on the highest position what is possible for this one. Let's say if our page is ending here and Selenium tries to bring this element as high as possible, we will see this specific area here, right? Okay, I think you should get the concept. If not, let me know and I try to explain it to you again. But I think when we run this code, you will see what I mean by that, right? So let's do this and let's scroll to this element. So right click, inspect. And here we need to locate this add to cart button again. Let's work with, one XPath expression, button tag, then with the type attribute and the button value, right? Let's try to build it. So it's button type, and it disappeared again. Let's find it. Right click, inspect, button type, and again we have this button value, right? So let's paste it here. And you can see here, this is not unique, right? So what we can do here is, let's see what we can, how we can change it. We need to find that one, and it should be unique, right? So let's just remove this type attribute, replace it with ID, and we can use this value, right? So let's take a look. And right now it's unique, right? And you can use it. So copy it back to PyCharm, and let's give this another name. Let's say, all right, add to button. We have already used this variable. Let's say add to button 2. That means it will be a unique variable for our example. Driver.findElement by XPath. And then you can paste your XPath here. And right now we need to scroll to this element, right? We don't want to click it right now. After we have selected our delivery date, we will click on this button. But for this moment, when we will be redirected to this page, we want to scroll down to that one, right? Let's see how we can do this. I just need to put down the driver object dot scroll. Oh no, it's not the driver object. It's the add to button 2 variable dot. Right now you need to choose the fourth one. All right, right now I got this. All right, so again, let me repeat it again because I mistakenly told you need to work with the driver object. Here you need to choose the specific element you want to scroll to, right? So let's use this. It's add to button 2 dot scroll. And right now you need to use this web element, right? Location 1 scrolled into view. That means Selenium will try to find this element and scroll to it, right? All right, this is actually the concept. And Selenium will try to put this button on the top. And again, if the site ends here, this is the highest possible Selenium can bring this element to, and we will see this specific region very clearly. So we have access to this calendar. We can, if we want to, we can choose a quantity and click on this add to cart button, right? Okay, so let's proceed. Let's again say time.sleep, and we can wait for 1 second. Here, don't forget to comment it. Click on HP laptop. Here we want to scroll, right? And after we have scrolled to this button, we want to work with the calendar, right? That means click on this calendar button, right click, inspect, and you can see here we can use this expression. and build our XPath out of it. So let's do it. It's I class equals to the value, right? And this will give us the calendar button, right? Let's copy this expression and go back to our PyCharm IDE and paste it here, right? Let's first of all choose one variable, calendar variable equals to driver.findElementByXpath, paste it here, and let's click on this calendar, right? Okay, my picture needs to be moved, let's say here. Great. After we have clicked on this calendar, again, let's work with the time.sleep function and wait for 1 second. And let me comment this calendar, right? Great. So calendar is chosen. In the next step, you need to get a feeling how this calendar element works, right? So you have different options how you can select a specific delivery date. In our case, let's take a look on the requirement. Again, we want to select the 31st of December of the year 2022, right? Let's do it. So you can see here we have this default value. It's April 2011. And let's see how we can go to 2022 to this December month and to choose this specific date, right? So it's not a good practice to write down, let's say 100 click statements until we get to a specific month, to a specific year and something. It's just not a good practice, right? So that means we need to think about something what is cleaner, right? What we can do here, we can just take a look how this one is working. So right click on this month and year. Let's inspect it. And you can see here we have this th tag, and we can use either the coolspan attribute or the class attribute. Let's say we want to work with this class attribute, and then we want to get access to this text field, right? So for example, you can see here we have this text field May 2019. Then next month it's June 2019, July 2019, and so on, right? And we need December 2022, right? That means manually we need to click on this one a lot of times, but we can write just down a simple while loop, and this while loop will do this job for us, right? So first of all, let's try to find out how we can build this expression. Let's say it's th. We work with this class attribute, right? And we need to locate it again. Class, and the value is picker switch, right? This is the element we want to work with, and we need to get access to this specific text. So let me show you how we can do this. First of all, let's copy it back to PyCharm, and let's name this variable month underscore year, right? Driver dot find element by XPath. Paste your XPath expression here, and right now we can use this simple while loop. Let's say while this text element of this element is not December 2022, so it's our required delivery date. If we don't have this text, December 2022, please click on this button, right? So first of all, let's write down this while loop. let's say while month underscore year dot text does not equal to December 2022, right? And then, and then we need to get access to this specific arrow, right? So that we are able to click on this. Again, right click, inspect. And here we can just work with th class equals to next. And you see it's the same structure, right? So take this next value, copy it, and remove this picker switch one and paste this next value here, right? So right now we have access to this arrow element. Let's copy it back to PyCharm, and first of all let's just select one variable. Next click we had already used. Let's say next click and then calendar, right? This is our new variable for this specific arrow. Driver.find element by XPath. Paste it here. Right now we have two variables and two elements, right? So next click calendar is this specific arrow, and the month year variable is referring to this specific region, right? So in our while expression, we can just say while month year dot text does not equal to December 2022, please click on this next arrow element, right? Again, so let's say this is our default, just an example, right? We are here right now. We take a look. Let me clear this field. So right click, inspect. We are, oh no, sorry. I need to inspect on this one. So you can see here we have this text March 2020. And in our while loop, we say while this text does not equal to December 2022, this is our delivery date, please click on this specific element, right? This is our expression in this simple while loop, right? So after we have done this specific year and the specific month will be selected. The only thing what right now is missing is to select this date, right? Let's do it. Inspect, and then we can work with this td class and day value, or we can make it a little bit easier. We can just say, okay, we have this text element here and this is stored in the td tag. That means we can just get access to this. Let's say td and then text equals to 31, right? Let's just type this down in brackets, don't forget it. And right now we have access to this 31, right? And after we have selected this month, the year, we need to select this specific date. So let's paste it here. Let's say calendar underscore date equals to driver dot find element by XPath. And here we can just paste it again. Let's say, or let's comment this, day 31. And here we can put a comment year 2022 and month is December, right? Great, right now we are good to go. Cool. So I would say in the next step, when we clicked on this specific date, we need to click on this add to cart button, right? We don't need to change the quantity. I mean, I have shown you in the iPhone example how we can work with this text box. I think if I show you just how we can work with this calendar element, we are good to go. Okay, so we have already defined this variable for this specific button, right? You can remember when we reached this page, we wanted to scroll down to this element. That's why we have this variable already. Let's see, it was this add to button underscore 2, right? And on this one, we need to click on, right? Let's do it. It's add to button underscore 2 dot click. And after we have chosen the month, let's wait for 3 seconds because I want to show you clearly how it works. And I think 2 seconds is enough too. And then after we have selected a specific date, we can also wait for 2 seconds. And then we want to click on this button, right? And if everything works fine, we have selected 3 items and we will see 2 iPhones here, 1 HP laptop here, and the specific delivery date, right? So let me close this window. Before we run this code, we need to click on this specific date, right? Otherwise, we will run into an error and it won't work. Calendar date dot click. So let's see if we have all our statements. So we have this text element here. We want to click on this next arrow button, wait for 2 seconds and click on this specific date, 31. And then we want to put this to our cart. Let's try. Right click and let's run it. I need to grab more water, but I'll do it afterwards. So browser is opening, window is maximizing. I mean, these steps you are already familiar with, right? It's the same again. And yeah, let's click this for the next picture, last picture, screenshot here, quantity change here, add to cart, go to the laptop overview with the action chains class, click on the specific laptop, move down, and right now you can go, or the calendar is right now moving towards December 2022 with this simple while loop, right? We reached this specific month and year and the date was selected. And you can see here, after everything was selected, so 2022, December 31, this add to cart button was clicked. And you can see here we have 3 items. We have 2 iPhones as planned and 1 HP laptop. And we have also the correct delivery date. Great. Right now, let's begin our checkout process. But first of all, let's take a look on our requirements. So we have selected 1 laptop and we have selected the correct delivery date. Great. So right now, let's create a guest account and complete the checkout process. Let's go back to our site and we need to click on this cart button and then to the checkout button to reach the checkout page. So inspect. Right now, let's see how we can locate this element. Here we can use this ID, right? Just copy the ID back to PyCharm and let's say go to cart equals to driver.find element by ID, and here we can paste our ID expression. First of all, again, let's work with the time.sleep function And in my Python Selenium beginners tutorial, I will cover different approaches, how we can use the waiting elements in Selenium. But right now let's proceed with this simple step. Alright, so let me put another comment here, add to button, and here it's just the check out. Right, go to cart, click on this element, right, and then let's again wait for 1 second until we proceed. In the next step, we want to reach this checkout element, and here we can reach it by using this p-class text right, and then we can just traverse down to this second a tag. Let's do it. So it's p class equals to this specific text. Let's inspect it again. It's this one, text right. Let's paste it here. And then we need to traverse to the second a tag. So it's a and 2, right? And you can see here, this is chosen and we are good to go. Cool. Copy, back to PyCharm, and then let's say check out equals to driver.find element by XPath. So you can see here in this project, I work mostly with XPath, but of course you can also use different locators. Let's click on that. After we have clicked on this checkout element, let's wait for 1 second until we proceed. And then go to cart, click on this checkout button, and you will be redirected to this checkout page. Here, let's choose the guest checkout. Actually, it's a ready button, and you can also see it here, right? Type is radio. And the structure will be the same. Let's use this input tag, and then we can work with value and guest. Let's do this. Input value equals to guest. This is right now our XPath expression for the specific ready button. Copy it back to PyCharm. Let's say guest equals to driver.find element by XPath. Paste it here and click on the specific ready button so that we can select that one. Afterwards, let's click on this continue button, right click inspect, and here let's say we want to use this ID. Copy that ID back to PyCharm, and let's name it as continue_1 equals to driver.find element by ID. You will see we need right now a couple of continue buttons right now during the whole checkout process, which will appear after each step. That means let's just write down for this one continue 1, and then proceed by counting continue 2, 3, and 4, and so on for the next continue buttons. But for that one, first of all, let's click on this and wait for 1 second until we proceed. So let's click this button. Now we have reached the second step of this checkout process, and you can see here we don't see everything what belongs to the second step. That means we need to scroll a little bit down until we see every element which belongs to this second step, right? Let's do this. Let's automate this step. And again, we can use the scrolling web element as we did in the previous step. That means Selenium will bring to the top of the website a specific element, and let's choose that one, right? Let's say that Selenium needs to put this to the top. That means we will have this kind of view, and then we can work with all this text boxes and with this drop downs. Let's do it. Right click, inspect. And right now we can work with this text again. So let's refer to this A tag and work with this text I copied a few seconds ago. And something I messed up, I forgot the equal sign. Okay, so this is our XPath expression. Copy it, go back to PyCharm, and let's say we want to have one variable for this. Let's just call it as step 2. I think it makes sense. And again, if you have any kind of questions, please let me know and I will try to help you out. In the next step, we want, so first of all, scrolling again. And here click continue. Here we can say we want to click on guest account. Good. Cool. Next step, we want to scroll to this specific element, right? Let's do this. Step 2, dot, and right now just write down scroll, and you need to click on this web element. Okay, afterwards, let's wait for, let's say for 2 seconds, time.sleep, and here we want to wait for 2 seconds until this view appears. And right now we have a perfect access to all this necessary text boxes and drop downs. So if you see a right star here, that means these fields are mandatory to fill out, and let's do this. You will see the process is almost always the same, but yeah, let's just start. So first of all, let's provide our first name. Again, right click, inspect this one, and here you can work with the ID. That means copy this ID, go back to the PyCharm, put a comment, first name, and then again first name variable, and right now let's find it by ID, paste it here. When you find this specific text box, we want to click on this, and then we want to write something down. That means we need to, we need to click on this in the first place, and afterwards we need to say first name dot send keys. That means please write something down. Let's say test name, since yeah, we can just use dummy data, right? And let's put a time.sleep function here, so it will wait for 1 second after it clicked on this text box. And then in the next step, the same for last name, and you will see here this is the same. The only difference is we need to replace this ID. That means, and if you also take a look on the next text boxes, we always have a different ID, and the procedure is always the same. So first of all, find this text box, click on this, and write something down, right? That means we can save a little bit of time and just copy this few lines of code and paste it here. And afterwards, don't forget to replace the specific steps. First of all, let's go to the last name, and here we need to do our modifications. Last name, driver find element by ID, and we need to find the specific ID for this last name box. It's that one. Copy it, paste it just here, right? Then take a look. You need to click on this last name, not on the first name anymore. And right now we are good to go. Again, replace it. Last name dot send keys. Let's say test last name, and here test first name. Okay, or let's work with underscores. It's usual in Python, and let's do it. Great. Next we have, I think, this email. Okay, right? So comment section, email. Then we need to replace this variable. We need to find the correct ID. Let's do it by inspecting this box. It's that one. Let's copy it, go back to our PyCharm and paste it here, right? And afterwards we want to click on this email field, wait for 1 second, and then we need to provide our dummy email address. Let's say test@test.com. Next we need to locate this phone box, the phone text box, again using this ID, and replace it properly. Here you need to replace it. Let's say we have this phone. We used already phones when we selected this iPhone, right? Let's just say telephone, and this will be unique for that one. Telephone equals to that specific ID. Then we want to click on this. You see the procedure is the same. This will save us some time. It's great. Telephone, send keys, and here put just a random number, right? And afterwards we need to find this address field. Same, this is the ID, but first of all let me copy this few lines of code. So it's 1 time, 2 times, I don't know how many we need. It's 1, 2, 3, so 3 times, right? After telephone, so then it's 1, 2, and 1 more time. Copy and paste it here. Don't forget to comment, otherwise maybe you will have difficulties. So it's telephone, right? Next one is address. And again, replace the necessary steps. Address equals to, let's search the ID. It's that one. Copy it back to our code. Paste our ID here. And then click on this specific text box, wait for 1 second, and then put down a random address. Let's say it's test street, and then put down 1 random number, let's say 187. Good. Next one, we have the city. So first of all, let me check if I messed up something. So it's email, telephone, address. Okay, we are good to go. Now we need to provide a city. Again, inspect on this city text box. We have this ID, copy and paste it here. Don't forget to comment this one. Especially in these steps, it's quite important to not mess anything up. City equals to driver.findElement by ID. Click on this checkbox, text box, city.click, and then city.send keys. Let's say we choose the city I live in. It's Frankfurt right now. Next step, postcode. We need this ID, right? Right click, and let's provide this ID here. Comment postcode. Declare a unique variable. Postcode equals to this specific ID. We want to click on this and then provide a random postcode. Let's say 112233. Next, let's wait for 1 second until we proceed. And actually, let's do this for every text box. After each time we type something in, let's wait for 1 second until we proceed. So, because I want to show you how the script is working, and if we don't provide this time.sleep, maybe it will be too fast and I can't explain to you properly what is happening right now. But I think with this step we are good to go, and you will see clearly what happens when we will run this script. Right now we can use these drop downs. You can see here, click on this and you can select the countries. Same here, the regions. And let's do this. So first of all, let's locate this drop down, right click, inspect. We have again an ID, right click, copy it, and here let's provide first of all country as a comment, and then let's declare a country variable. Country equals to driver.find element by ID. Paste it here. Now we need to use the select class in order to be able to work with the dropdowns. Let me show you how we can do this. First of all, let's provide a variable. Dropdown equals to select. This is the select class we want to work with. Again, locate your mouse here and click on import. And here you need to choose the last option. Click on this. To cross-check, just move up, and you can see here the class was selected, or the select class was imported. Maybe you can say it in this way. And yeah, let's proceed. Again, scroll down, select. And what do you want to select? This specific drop-down, right? That means let's type in country. And right now, when you work with drop-downs, you have 3 different approaches how you can select a value. Let's see, 1 second. Go to this country, click on this one, and right now you need to select one specific country. How you can do this? This is what I just mentioned. You have 3 different approaches. You can select, let me show you, select by visible text, select by index, or select by value. So since we have right now 2 different drop-downs, I want to show you 2 different approaches how we can handle these drop-downs, right? First of all, let's select the country. And here I have chosen Germany because at the moment I am living in Germany. Let's select this one. And to be honest, before I have recorded this video, I have, let's see, here's Germany, and this is at index 87. So I just counted from here down to Germany, and this is at index 87. And here we can select it by text, right? So then you have seen 2 different approaches. let's do it and say select by index, and here we need to provide down 87. Good. Next one, we want to get access to this dropdown. The logic is the same, but first of all, let's say time.sleep and wait for a few seconds. Let's paste this 2 times, here and here, right? So we have a little bit of time to see what happens when the script is running. Next one, let's copy it, paste it here because the logic is the same. We just need to modify this again. So here we have chosen the country. In this one we want to choose the region, right? So let's do our modifications and write down region equals to driver.findElement by ID. In this one, let's inspect on this region dropdown, copy the proper ID and paste it here. Afterwards, we want to select the region, right? And let's say, because we had here this dropdown, let's say dropdown 1, dropdown 1. Here it's the same, dropdown 1, and here we have dropdown number 2. Okay, we provided this region here. We wait for 1 second, and then we want to go with the different approach and say select by visible text. Here, let's see what we have. First of all, we need to click on Germany, this one, and then you will have this specific regions. And let's say we want to choose to Hessen because, yeah, Frankfurt is located in Hessen, and we can go and say select by visible text. And right now, just write down Hessen. And that's it. And if I did not mess anything up, we will have this one selected and we are good to go. Next one, we want to click on this continue button to reach to step number 3. Again, locate this button and let's work with input type button. So you have again here different approaching steps, how you can locate it, but for this one I want to choose. So once again, to continue, input type button. Good. Input type equals to button. This is our element. Copy it. Go back to our code. And let's say continue. So we had continue 1. Right now we want to continue with continue 2 variable. Driver.findElement by XPath. And paste it here, continue to dot click, right? And then we want to click on this button. Okay, we see this error messages here because we didn't provide any value here yet. Let's do it and just write something down. I mean, when we run our code, you will see everything we put in this send keys function. But for this moment, we have not run our code yet. That means let's just write something down to be able to proceed, right? Here too, postcode. Okay, country and region were already selected. Right now we can click on this continue button and we will reach this step. Next, we just want to click on this continue button. Let's inspect on this one and say, yeah, input ID button shipping method. Let's do it. You can either write an XPath expression or just working with ID. Let's say we want to continue and using the ID. Maybe it's a little bit faster, right? So afterwards, let's wait for 1 second. After we've clicked the last continue button, then let's declare next variable continue3 equals to driver dot find element by ID. Paste the new ID here, and let's click on the third button. Again, wait for 1 second until we can proceed. Click on this one. Right now we need to select this checkbox. That means we need to agree on this terms and conditions, and then we can click on this continue button. First of all, let's inspect on this checkbox, and let's say we want to build our XPath, writing down input type checkbox, input type checkbox, just write it down here, checkbox, and well, it's not unique right now. Let's inspect it again, and let's go for name agree. Let's see if this is unique. Name, wait, let me replace this one, name agree. Okay, right now this is unique. Let's copy this and go back to our code. Let's say accept terms and conditions, right? And as a variable, let's just make something simple, t underscore e for terms and conditions, driver dot find element by XPath, and paste here our XPath, right? And now we can click on this specific checkbox, and afterwards let's wait for 1 second. Cool, we have everything went fine. Let's click on this one, and then we want to click on this continue button. Let's inspect on this one again. Okay, so right now let's work with, let's say input type equals to button, so we can write different kind of XPath expressions. Again, it disappeared. Let's go back. Input type equals to button, and right now let's use this one. Copy it, go back here. Let's declare a variable continue number 4, driver dot find element by XPath, paste it here, and don't forget to comment this one. Click continue. So let's copy this one and comment also the last continue buttons. Let's say click continue 2, click continue 3, and click continue 4. So where is continue number 1? Let's search for it, and I can't find it right now. It's here. Click continue 1, and right now we should be good to go. Let's click on this continue 4 button, dot click, and then we reach almost the last step. You can see here we have a summary, we have this confirmation order, we've selected 2 iPhones, 1 laptop, we have our delivery date, and we have this total purchase sum. And let's say we want to print this total amount in our console. First of all, let me remove the last expression and go for this one. right click, inspect, and here you can see that we need to work with tables. Let's move up a little bit, and let's try to start here, and then we want to traverse down to this specific TD tag where this price text is located. Okay, let's start here, right? So it's a table class equals to this value expression. Let me copy it so it will save some time. Table add class equals to the value expression I just copied. So we have just found this table, right? Can double check by clicking enter. This one, then we want to go down to tfoot / tfoot, and then we need to reach the third tr tag, so /tr number 3, and now we need to get to this second td, to this second td /td and 2, right? And right now we have this element where our final price is located. We copy it, go back to our code. First of all, let's put a comment here and write down final price equals to driver.findElement by XPath. Paste this expression here, and let's say we want to print this in our console. What we can do is let's write down print, and then we can say final price dot text, right? And afterwards the final price will be printed here in our console. Let's also write down in string format the final price of both products is, and then we can concatenate plus final price dot text, and here we will get printed our final price, right? Let's do this. And first of all, let's complete the last, I think, 1 or 2 steps, and then let's run our code again and let's see if everything worked fine. So now we need to get to this button and click on this. Let's inspect it and let's go for ID button confirm. Okay, or wait, we can go for this one. Button confirm, right? So copy that back to the IDE, and let's give this a variable name, confirmation button equals to driver.findElement by ID. Paste it here, and we want to click on this confirmation button. Click, and we should be good to go. Let's wait for 2 seconds until we proceed, and don't forget to comment this one. Click on the confirmation button. Good. After we have done this, you can see here we reach this success text, and yeah, let's say that we also want to print this in our console. It's the same procedure. Let's locate this text here. What we can do, let's go for div class and this value here. First of all, let me copy this and build the XPath out of it. So it's div add class equals to the value I have just copied, and then we can go to the h1 tag And yeah, so let's work with this one. Copy it back to our code. Let's choose one variable and say, yeah, success text, right? I think this is a good one. Success text. Variable is the same. Success text equals to driver.findElement by XPath, and paste your XPath expression here. And in the next step, it's the same what we did on this final price element. Can just write down print success text dot text. That means we will have access to this specific text, and if everything works fine, it will be printed also in the console. Then we can wait for 1 second. Let's remove this empty line here. Wait for 1 second, and then we want to close our driver, right? Driver.close. And if everything works fine, let's just see. Let's just see if we have written everything correctly. If not, let's debug it together. Okay, let's cross our fingers. Hopefully the last time. Right click and let's run this code. All right, let's see. Browser is opening again. It's loading. Let's see, come on. All right, great, it's reached the iPhone step. Come on, click on this picture. Okay, I think it's a little bit slower right now. Okay, but it clicked on this picture. Next one, next one. Last picture, take one screenshot, click on the X element, go to the laptops and notebooks. Let's see, okay, it was successfully. Right now, work with the calendar. Again, December 2022. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Great. 31. Awesome, add to cart. Cool, go to the checkout page, guest account. Right now, fill everything out. First name, last name, email, come on, telephone, address, great, city, cool, postcode, good, country, let's see, great, Germany, region, Hessen, click on continue, come on, click on continue. Okay, it did not click on continue. Cool, or not so cool. I think let's take a short look on our code. What went wrong here? Let's take a look on the logs. So error message is element not interactable, line 189. So let's scroll up a little bit. So this is line 189, and this is our second continue button, right? And it braked in this line. So that means let's cross check again this XPath expression, copy it, go back to our site, right click on this button, right? This is the step where our script braked. Right click. Oh, sorry, I think I need to move my picture to the other side. Right click, inspect, and now let's take a look here, right? So let's paste this XPath expression, and okay, this was my mistake. This button is not unique. So let's change this XPath to a unique button. For example, let's go by using this XPath expression input tag, ID attribute, and this button guest value. Let's build it. So input, then for this we need to put down ID, and then we go with this button guest value, right? Good. Right now it's unique. Let's try to copy it and go back to our code right now. And here we need to change this XPath expression and paste it here. Let's see if the other buttons are unique right now or not. For example, the next one, so continue. This one, let's take a look. And yeah, let's just make the same procedure here. Input ID, and then let's replace it just to be, let's say, very sure or 100% sure that this element is unique, right? And then let's replace it. I don't know what happened right now with my computer, but we will get it. Okay, so driver find element by ID. Let's change it to by XPath and paste here our new XPath expression, right? And the same we can do with the last button. So after clicking here on continue, this is our last continue button. Again, let's locate it, and structure is the same, input at ID, and here we just need to modify the value, remove the last one, paste in the new one, and right now this continue button is also unique. Okay, let's take a look if this mistake happened due to the fact that our buttons were not unique. And let's try to run this code again. So button 2, let's see, button 2, button 3, button 4, everything was changed. Okay, let's just try out and see what happens, right? Right click and run. Let's see. It's very interesting right now. Browser is opening, maximizing, same procedure. So let's take a look. Next picture. Next one. Then we reached the last one, taking one screenshot. Change the quantity. Add to cart, go to laptops and notebooks. Let's see. Good. Right now we work with the calendar, December 31st, 2022. Let's see. Good. Cool. Checkout, guest checkout. And right now this is the critical point. So let me move my picture to the different place and let's see what happens here, right? Address, city, postcode, country, region, and right now it should, yes, great. Everything works fine so far. Let's see. If we reach the last step, and we did not reach the last step. Let's see what went wrong this time. Let's open our PyCharm and take a look on the error message. Unable to locate element. Let's scroll up a little bit. It happened in line 207. Let's take a look. Here we have the final price, and according to the logs, it wasn't able to locate this element, right? So let's make here a cross check again if this is unique. Right click somewhere and let's paste here our XPath expression. And you can see here that this is definitely unique. We have 1 out of 1 and this price is selected. That means this actually should be the right XPath expression. Let's take a look on the code again. The previous step was to click on this continue button number 4. And okay, in this step we didn't provide the time.sleep function. Let's try to provide this in this step, time.sleep, and let's say it should wait for 3 seconds until the next step will be executed. And yeah, so let's take a look if this is the root cause, and to prevent maybe another kind of error messages, let's take a look that we have also provided time.sleep functions in the next lines. So here we have said that the script should wait for 2 seconds, right? Then let's go down, and in the almost in the last step, let's also write down time.sleep, wait for 2 seconds, just to make sure if we will run again into an error, it's root cause, it's not the fact that we didn't provide the time.sleep function, right? Okay, so right now we have this time.sleep here, and we have this at this place. This was actually the critical step, right? Because it wasn't able to locate the final price element. Right now, again, right click, run this, and let's see what happens right now. Okay, browser is opening. So let me put my picture into a different place right now. Okay, let's see. It's clicking. Next one. Next page. Okay, it reached the last iPhone picture. Quantity. Select 2 iPhones, go to the laptops overview, select the right model, go to the calendar and choose the correct delivery date. December 2022, the day is 31. Okay, we are good to go. Add this to our cart, go to the checkout page. Okay, our details again. So this was the step we have already successfully fixed. City, postcode, country, region, click on continue, 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 and right now, come on, this is our next step. Great. So the last button was clicked. Awesome. And you can see here we have printed out the final price and the success message. All right, I would say we are done with our project. Let me take a last look on our requirements. So we have created a guest account and completed the whole checkout process. Check and print the total price and the confirmation message in the console. Check. All right, guys, we are right now, reached the last step of our project. This project went successfully. And if you have any kind of questions, let me know and I will definitely try to help you out. Thank you very much for your time, for your patience, and I hope to see you on the next time. Bye bye.